basereviews.com. We've got the draw on screen type thing happening here, where we can draw squares around buildings and turn them into smiley faces and fun things like that. Now, bit of an issue here. Now, first, you know what? First off, let's show what's happening right now. The Rainmakers are back. This is an image from Boom Beach's official Twitter account. Kinda like it, kinda neat. Looks like the landing crafts are fan powered almost. I never even thought of that. Like they're hovercrafts, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts on that are. If you don't care. Let's move along. We're gonna do the same thing as last time. We're gonna do stages 1 to 2, and then do a review, and then 2 to 4, and then do a review, and then 4 to 6, and then our final review. Now, a bit of a technical difficulty. So for those of you who know what Patreon is, I have said any of the people who are my Patreons will get first dibs at base review. You don't have to go into the entry. You don't have to do the draw. You just get automatic entry. So if you're a Patreon, please do let me know if you want your base reviewed. I will be happy to do so. The Green Machine said he wanted his done, but there is a bug right now with how bases are shared. So if you're going to share your base, please also include the name of your base and which task force you're in, because I just am not able to view some bases. Some of the URLs go to random level 1 bases. Same thing happens with my Anon Moose level 34 base. I share the base and it comes up with someone else's base. Seems to be a bug in the base sharing feature, which is a bit frustrating, but not a huge deal. So just let me know which task force you're in, and that will let me get into your base even if the share URL thing does not work. So without further ado, here's base number 1. It's Jeremiah, longtime subscriber and commenter. Let's have a look at this base. This base is kind of neat. One of the things, I saw this shock launcher right here, and then I started looking for the other one and I couldn't find it. And finally, I realized it's over here at shore. So what he is doing with this base is he is saying, go that way. He's primarily targeting tank medics, I believe. You'll notice he has 3 boom cannons over on this side. Very, very heavy loaded right side. He's saying, hey, come at me, bro. You're going to have to go left, which is a neat way to do a base. Basically, you're forcing people to go one way or the other. Sort of neat. And what he's done is he's hidden a doom cannon in the trees, hoping that people won't notice that. This rocket launcher, actually let's change colors here quickly just to get things a little bit prettier. This rocket launcher is a little bit close to this shock, so I would move it out. Even though you're thinking that you're going to force people to go left, if you can spread that out a bit, you can make it, like, even just move this like 1 tile to the right, that would be good. Now, lots and lots of hidden mines here, which I like. You can't see many of his mines at all, which is very, very good. Now, obviously, any sort of tank medic player who knows how to use smoke will probably smoke back into here, but not a lot of tank medic players use smoke, so that's not a big deal. No prototypes, so actually just the one, I should say. So having just 1 prototype is, I think, better than 2 or 3 when you're trying to trick people. But he's trying to hide this doom cannon back here. So if he had like a damage amp in here or a grappler back here, people would look for more prototypes. But by only having 1, he's trying to be sneaky. I like it. Overall, a different base, something that most bases these days are kind of symmetrical, or they're corner bases, or the middle. Like, if they're middle bases, they're symmetrical. If they're left bases, they're not. If they're right bases, they're not. So I like this base. It's neat. Actually, I gotta do one thing. I'll throw in, I totally forgot to check the poll results. So in my next video, I will show the poll results for which bases you guys liked best. I totally meant to show that for this, but then I forgot. So my apologies. Nonetheless, great base. I like the fact that it's non-standard. I like the fact that you're trying to force people to one side, and then you've got some hidden stuff in there. Your Doom Cannon isn't super, super hidden, but at the same time, it is hidden and started. So, neat base, kinda cool. Let me know what you think of that base in the comments. Let's move right along and we'll get some Dr. T. Now, at least one person said they did not like the fact that I was doing Dr. T and mixing it in. I'm just trying to keep the videos to a reasonable length, and I feel like just doing base reviews isn't enough on its own, but if you think it is, let me know. Now, the other thing that this advantage gives me is that by doing DrT in a video, I make sure that I actually do DrT, and as a result, I end up picking up the powder. So my preference is to include DrT because we're going to do it. I'm going to do it anyways, and so by recording it, it sort of breaks up the video, and it's not just all base reviews. Let me know if you think I should not be doing DrT, or if you don't like DrT, or if it makes you kind of have to switch back and forth, or maybe do all 3 base reviews and then do DrT at the end. I am very, very much open to whatever you guys think. Did not receive a ton of feedback about the format, so I kind of assume most of you are happy-go-lucky about whatever I choose. Not a lot of you had much feedback about the actual bases themselves. I totally should have checked the polls, though. That is a huge failure on my part. So next time I will check the polls and show which base you guys like the best. I mean, that's kind of a little bonus that for those people who submit your bases. It'd be kind of cool to win like the top base of the week or something like that. I forgot to flare the core. Let's get another battle orders just because that's the only way we can probably take this down before the shock clears out. So stage 4 down in no problem at all, as per always. Let's get our next base review up, shall we? What do we got? We got Mick 3Y. Now this base, when he shares his base or her base, it goes to some random level 2 base. Another issue with this. So I think 2 of the 3 bases that I selected, or 2 of the 4, did not work. So please, again, share your task force. Now this base is a high VP base. 1202 VP with all offensive statues. Big shout out to Mickey? Yeah, that's an EY in elite speak. There we go. So, well done, Mickey. That's a very, very good VP for your statues and layout. Now, this base is kind of strange to me. The zmoT is way off to the right, and it only ranges to about here. So, Grenadiers from this side, no big deal, but maybe he's not hit by Grenadiers. The other thing I like to place, because of this, the edges that are here, I like the zmoT to be more central. That way, you're guaranteed intel regardless of where people go. That's for squishy troops. Obviously, with Tank Medic, that's not necessarily maybe that's not a problem. Maybe he's being hit primarily by Grenadiers or Warriors. The fact that he's got Warriors loaded, a Hot Pot by his headquarters, and a zmoT by his headquarters makes me think maybe he's hit by Warriors more often than not. Again, you can't guard against all troop types, so maybe he's trying to guard against Warriors. He's got a Shock Blaster up front, which is good. Fairly, his base as well. And notice he's got the zmoT and 2 boom cannons here, another boom cannon here, kind of pushing people to the left a little bit, but not a huge push like our first base. Lots of visible mines. I would really like even this moved behind the boom cannon. 3 shock mines by the core. These are only going to affect Warriors, and you're already in your last 2 smokes by that point. So I would really prefer, I don't know if there's a shock mine up in here. Let's switch back to red. I would prefer to have the shock mines a little bit more forward facing, and if he is trying to guard against Warriors, again, I'd like a big building with maybe a shock mine behind it and then a shock mine here. So that way you get all of the troops broken up a little bit. Hope that makes sense. The shock mines are a little bit too close to core for me if you are trying to deal with Warriors, and there's probably going to be like a barrage that's going to clear most of this stuff anyways. But overall, good base. Nice diamond statue in here. Where's the rest of your... Oh, there we go, right there. So, as you can see, the progression is going this way. I'm guessing maybe he used to be an ice base and he just switched to offense because he went from iron to gold to diamond. So maybe he's on his way down from a push or had some ice and moved to an offensive account. Let me know, Mickey, if that's an accurate guess or not. Otherwise, I like the base. Good. Maybe I'd like to have this moved 1 square this way. I put a bit of emphasis on this square right here. That's where I like to flare, just past the docks. So if this building is moved slightly out, it takes away that small. It's like a 0.5%. No one else probably cares, but I like to block that square off. Otherwise, let's carry on with the things. We'll get into stage 5 and 6, and then we'll finish off. I'm quite enjoying these base reviews, a nice change of pace. If you're asking yourself, why am I not using Rainmakers? The reason is, Rainmakers are slow, and I'm trying to focus on the base reviews more so than the troops. Zookas are fast. We will get that part done as quickly as possible. Rainmakers, we'd end up being here for an extra 5 minutes, maybe. And although that might be good for views or ads or something, I just want to get, we'll stick to the primary focus of this video is base reviews, not showing off troops or attacks or whatever. So we're going to shock in here, and maybe that's enough for everything. Look at that, 2 shocks. Let's do a couple more shocks just for fun. And then we'll shock our troops, throw a med kit on them, maybe a smoke. Lots and lots of GBE for stage 5. 2 shocks, stage 5. If you're low level, you can probably get maybe 2 shocks twice if you boost a statue or so. Extra purple statues, extra purple stones, all of those fun things. Whoa, look at this. Only 1. This is kind of strange, actually. I'm going to try a different strategy here. We're going to try and BART out this shock launcher. And the reason for that is, if this shock launcher is down, we can just stand back there and clear out everything. I'm going to mark the, what is that thing called? The mortar. And now let's just send our troops in. And I'm going to try to do this with 1 shock or no shocks. Strange stage 6. Seems like there's been a couple stages recently that have had no rocket launchers and or no shock launchers. So trying to change our strategies. Don't necessarily need to rush the core at all times. Doing a free snipe once in a while is a good practice, because that way it's less about your damage and more about just getting in the right little snuggle spot there. I'm going to move slightly to the left. We've got 30 GBE to shock all of the things. Oops, I missed the shock on that sniper tower there. But overall, we should be pretty good, I think. Let's get 1 more shock out. Get rid of that mortar, perhaps. Now, see, gaining GBE slowly but surely. And we'll just stand here. And hopefully that will give us enough time to get the core down. No difficult shocks, no craziness. A little bit of a change of pace on stage 6. Let me know what you think about that. I kind of trying to push towards those, because it really sucks when you have like level 3 Zookas and you don't have enough damage to get the core down in 1 round of shocks. On to our last and final base. We've got Final Mission. Speaking of change of pace, this base is very, very different than everything else we've done so far. He is sitting, or she is sitting at 874 VP with at least 1 boosted ice and 4 ice total. This is not my style of base. This is not the way I like to play the game, and I don't think that at 874 VP you need ice at all, especially not 4 of them. So, Final Mission, please consider getting rid of at least 3 of your ice. I think that your game will, your playstyle you'll have more fun, and you'll actually get more attacks. So at 874 VP, people might see this and not attack you, which is going to take away from the amount of intel you can generate, take away the amount of diamonds you can generate, and the fact that you have a resource reward statue back here means that you probably have enough resources to upgrade basically anything anyways. All your expensive upgrades are done. Your mortars are done, your shock launchers are done, and your boom cannons are done. So it's all inexpensive upgrades at this point. Obviously, you still have a couple I probably have a couple expensive armory upgrades available because you're just upgrading your armory. But just upgrading your armory at XP 64 is sort of strange. So your playstyle is very different than mine. I'm not going to say it's wrong or that mine's right, but your armory should have been upgraded a long time ago, because you're just missing out on extra troop levels. So if you have a question, there's a very well-known upgrade order that I'd suggest you follow going forward. If you care, please reach out. I'd love to send it along. But if you don't care, that's fine too. There's many ways to play the game. Now this base, moving on to the base. Now, the fact that the shield gen is at the back, I like that. That's a good shield gen placement. It means that anyone attacking with a variety of troops has to either burn through the shield or come around to the back somehow or something along those lines. So good shield gen placement. I like that. Shock blaster placement right here is good. Bullet is going to sit here with warriors, which is good. You're going to get access to most of the beach. I like it. Doom cannon is touching a few, like you've got a lot of things that are touching, which I don't necessarily like. And you've got a straight path for warriors, which again, you do have a lot of mines in here. So the fact that you've got a straight path for warriors is not bad, because they have to deal with the mines. So I like it. There's a bunch of mines out to the sides. You've got your mines in pairs, which would be handy against things like RCZM and stuff like that. So good there. What else do we have to look at here? Your resource buildings are all sort of off to the side, making it so that people have to address lots of defenses instead of getting free GBE, so that's also good. I'm guessing that your base is primarily set up to defend tank medic or scorcher tanks or armored troops, because you've got your boom cannons at the front. Now this base probably generates a good amount of intel. You've got 3 prototypes. You've got boom cannons at the front. So you're basically saying, bring it on, smoke to the back, and not many players will actually smoke to the back. Your shock launchers are nice and wide. Now, again, I'd like them to be moved out 1 square or so. The fact that I can throw a shock that's going to hit your shock launcher and your shock blaster, I don't really like that. Move them out a little bit. I think that'll make your base a little bit stronger, especially against warriors or squishy troops or even tank medic. Moving them out a bit is going to make this shock impossible, which will make people have to deal with all 3 of them at the same time as opposed to just 1. What else do we have? That's about it. Now, for those of you out there looking to make a base that's going to generate intel, I really like these sorts of bases. Basically what you're saying is, you're going to have to deal with my base, and you're going to have to do it soon. Because not a lot of people can smoke. And if they can smoke, they're going to bring warriors. And warriors, we've got machine guns by core, and we've got a shock blaster by core. So you're telling people they're going to have to smoke somewhere, and not a lot of players can smoke somewhere. So we've got, now again, back to this, the fact that we can shock this together, I don't really like that, but I don't know that there's a solution to it. Maybe move the boom cannon to one of the sides. I don't know, but overall, good base, and you're going to do fairly well, but I think you do better with less ice. Now, that sounds crazy, but at 870 VP, you're probably going to get raided 6 times a day, and if you're going to get that down to 2 raids a day, that means less intel, less diamonds. You might hold on to some resources, but you're level 64, so resources are not a big deal whatsoever. You've got your operation reward boat. You've got your resource boat that you can hold indefinitely. So maybe I think that you'd get further in crab, and you would potentially get a diamond statue if you have the time for it, and you'd get more raids, more intel, more diamonds by getting rid of your ice. It's just not gonna be a positive thing, I don't think. But again, all yours. Play your game however you want. Let's move on. And by the way, last week I told someone to have more green statues, which made Mr. Shishkebobber raise his eyebrows at me. There are many ways to play the game, but I find that being focused on one specific playstyle is more advantageous than playing multiple game styles at the same time. That's why I really, really don't like rainbow statues, because you're not getting the benefits of green statues, you're not getting the benefits of ice statues, you're not getting the benefits of offensive purple or red statues. You're just kind of getting a little bit of everything, and you're not, by being focused or being one specific playstyle or the other, you'll get better results, and you'll do better and have more fun, I think. So just consider being all greens, all like greens and blues, all turtle, or being offensive, or one or the other. There are many ways to play the game, but kind of trying to pick and choose between many playstyles is going to be detrimental and make the game less enjoyable, I think. Again, one guy's opinion. Let me know what you think of the base reviews, what you think of the Dr. T attacks. That stage 7 was a bit tricky for sure. Lots of mortars, machine guns, shock launchers, rocket launchers. Medkits saved the day. So please, feedback, share your bases. you have to comment on this video if you want your base reviewed next week. I don't take previous reviews into account. And Mr. Turtle, I don't know if you remember him. I think it was Turtle. It was like TU something, capital R, or capital L, I should say, said that he's getting more intel and diamonds after making the changes I suggested. So I don't know if he's just being nice to me, pumping my tires, or if he actually is. But either way, sounds like good things are happening from base reviews. You guys seem to enjoy them. So please keep the comments coming. Enjoy your Rainmakers. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.